Hello again, and welcome to the Final Phase podcast. It's been a strange week over here. I've been definitely playing too much World of Warcraft, so in order to battle this addiction, I've thrown myself into recording this podcast. In this episode, we're going to go over something that you probably won't find in too many other places. We'll be talking about what goes on in LAN tournaments, not about actual games, but everything else from travel, hotel, the food, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Our guest today is Liquid Jeemzz, who has been in almost every PUBG LAN event, so who better to talk to than him? Let's jump right in. So here we go. We got Jeemzz here. Jeemzz, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I just finished my stream. I've been grinding Classic WoW today because it's my off day.
So you streamed Classic today?
Yeah, I actually streamed it a little bit for like 4 or 5 hours.
Nice. What level are you?
Almost level 10.
Okay, that's good. First day. Wait, have you played WoW before?
Yeah, I've actually played a lot of WoW. Not Classic, but from TBC and up from there.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so you've been a professional player in PUBG for quite some time now. What, about 2 years now, approximately?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so since today we want to talk about LAN events and the experience of those LAN events from a pro player perspective, how many big LAN events, international LAN events, have you been to in the last 2 years?
Like, if you consider all the phases in the Pro League, it's like 15 or 16 LAN events over 2 years. One of them was like the Abayok LAN, though, the Polaris one.
Mhm.
You bring your own PC and stuff. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, like 15 or 16.
Wow, that's really a lot when you think about it, and all the travel and different continents as well. You've been to Asia, you've been to US.
Yeah, I've been to US like 2 or 3 times, been to Asia once. Even though like the Twins have been there like 3 times already because of Nations Cup and the one event that I missed. Can't remember which one it was. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. But you've been to almost every event.
Yeah.
Every major event. Yeah, except the one in the US they had to skip due to something.
Yeah.
As far as I remember. All right.
Yeah.
So when there's a LAN event that has an online qualifier, at least that's how it was before, like a year ago. You would have an online qualifier. You qualify. How much time do you have between qualifying and actually attending the LAN event, flying there, typically?
It's like it really depends on the event. I don't think I ever actually qualify for an event through the qualifier because, for example, PGI, we actually failed the qualifier, but then a team got like kicked because they were cheating, and then we took their spot. So I can't remember how long that was, but like it really depends. There's been some events that I don't know about until it's like 3 or 4 weeks until we're going there, and some I've known up to like 3 months. So it really depends on each event. But yeah, I actually don't remember if I ever like qualified with our team.
Like, you also got a lot of direct invites, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of direct invites. But I guess, I mean, people, you can debate that or argue that some of these invites were from like results and stuff.
Yeah, because I think there were some events where people had like a week or two to just prepare and even booked all the flights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that seems pretty rough, but you didn't have those experiences, so I can't really.
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe there has been one, but I just don't remember it right now.
Yeah.
But for sure there was one like where it was like 3 weeks, and it was just like go kind of.
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to booking flights, who buys all the flights when you go to a certain event? Let's say you get invited.
So the way I understand it is that our manager collects flights and he sends them to the tournament organizer. And I guess some tournament organizers are a little bit more greedy than others. So some will say, "No, this direct flight is too much. We'll give you a layover flight." And then like the tournament organizer will pay for it, but usually it's our manager that finds the tickets. But yeah, there's been some events where people or where the organizer says like, sorry, we can't give you a direct flight, it costs too much. And then like I would have to fly like and have like 3 or 4 layovers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks.
Especially where you're from, right? From like
from
top of Norway,
yeah.
which is kind of far away from certain places. But yeah. So do you ever get like business or first class booked?
No, never. I
No?
never had that list. I've never flied with like on a long flight with business class or anything. It's always like economy and yeah, I sometimes even like upgrade to,
Yeah.
but I'm not like I don't upgrade to business, but I upgrade to like I don't know like the what are they called, like the front
The
seats.
premium
Yeah,
economy or something. Yeah.
yeah, or to like a seat that has more leg space or something.
But do you think it's worth it for like transatlantic flights, for example, to upgrade?
I mean, it depends. Like if you're EB, you have to upgrade. He
Yeah.
needs the leg space. I mean, I guess it all depends on how much money you have, to be honest. But it is really expensive to upgrade for example, business.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I haven't done it, because it just, for me, it doesn't feel like that amount of money would be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. But how many of you travel to events? You're 4 players, then you have your coach now, and your manager. Is that like 6 people that fly to events these days as a team?
Yeah, it's usually like that. And then sometimes there's other staff from Team Liquid that comes, and also sometimes we have a photographer. So yeah,
Yeah.
like between 6 and 9 people.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of people. But does the organizer book for everyone, or is it just for the 4 or 5 of you, and then everyone else
I'm
just flies?
pretty sure most organizers just book for 4 players,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the game. Like they just pay for the players and one extra, like a manager or a coach.
I see.
And maybe some of them pay for all the players and 2 extra.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. All right. Good info. Good info. So, for the most part, almost all organizers these days in PUBG are going to pay for at least economy flights for the whole team. All right. All right. So, let's talk about, so when you arrive at the airport and you got to travel to your hotel, is that also covered by the organizers, or how does it work?
Yeah, most of the time it is, or I mean, all the time it is. There's been some issues though sometimes. Like most of the times they will set up like a shuttle or something for you,
Mm-hmm.
and like you get these pretty nice shuttles, like good cars, and the drivers are all like dressed up in their suits, and they have some water there for you, maybe even chargers inside the cars. And they're usually just waiting for you at the airport with like your name on a sign. But sometimes, like I've come to the airport and I guess there's just been some like misinfo or something, and there's nobody waiting there, so I'll have to just grab a taxi and just take the receipt and give it to the organizer so they can like pay me back.
All right. So there's typically no issues with that. They cover the transport back and forth, I guess.
Yeah.
So you get in your shuttle, you arrive at the hotel. So how's the hotel typically?
It's usually like pretty good. Most of the time it's like 4-star hotels, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And like the hotels I've had in Hong Kong was pretty nice, and the hotel we had in all of US has been pretty nice. I guess just some of the like European hotels have been not as great
Mm-hmm.
as the other hotels. For example, there was one event at GLL where it was during the heat wave in Sweden, and this was season 2 of GLL, I think. And it was during the heat wave, and we had like a hotel without any air conditioning, and like, yeah, that it was kind of a cheap hotel, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the times they are really nice.
Yeah, I guess these big organizers just kind of improve every year. GLL this year was, I feel like, a lot better and a huge step forward for them.
Yeah, for sure. It was way better this year.
Yeah. Do you get like single or double rooms, or?
We have double rooms, so they pay for like 3 rooms, I guess, because it's like 5 to 6 people they pay for, so they pay 3 rooms. But I know that like a lot of people want to have like single rooms, and I believe like CS:GO players have single rooms, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because there's more money involved.
Fair enough, I
Uh,
guess.
yeah, and I know also like people like to ask their orgs to have it in their contract that if the tournament organizer doesn't pay for single rooms, then the org can take care of the rest of the amount of money and pay for single rooms. So every player has like their own private space and
Yeah, that is. I didn't know that. That is very interesting. So you're talking about CS:GO contracts, not PUBG
uh
contracts, or
yeah, both.
both? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. So when you arrive, let's say in the US, and you came from EU, how do you deal with jet lag?
Um so is it 6 hours backwards, right?
Yeah, six,
6 to 9.
7, 8, even 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's never been a problem for me because I sleep on the plane and then I wake up there and it's earlier. So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
waking up and then having a normal day for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess for the people who can't sleep on the plane, it's really bad. But it's like I don't know. I've been gaming a lot, and it's almost like pulling an all nighter. Sometimes you just just gotta stay up and go to bed at like a normal time and not go too early to bed. And yeah, I
Yeah.
guess just eat well, drink water, all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's it's not the worst. Like
what about day
personally,
2 and day 3? Do you feel any effects or you feel normal?
yeah, you can feel it a little bit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, not that much. I just feel a little bit tired, I guess.
Yeah. So what about when you go to Asia? What happens when you go to Hong Kong, for example? It's the other way around. It's a lot different, I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was different because the jet lag kind of screwed us all over when we went to Hong Kong. I actually remember we were doing IRL streams at like 4 a.m. in Hong Kong because yeah, our schedule was just flipped around. That's my first time going there, so I guess that one is harder for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's way harder,
Yeah.
and I guess also when you come like back from the US to like Europe, it's also the same. That's when it's actually hard. But yeah, when we were in Hong Kong, it took like a while to get the schedule right. So I mean, we were there like I think like 4 days before the tournament started. So we had a little bit of time to get the schedule correct. So
Yeah.
like you just make it work.
That's good. I guess have an few extra days when you're traveling that far.
Yeah.
So let's go to my favorite topic, and that is food. Tell me, tell me about the food on events, like in your experiences of different events.
Um. Yeah. So most events have catering, and they usually have just like one hot meal per day. Some have two. I wish there was like a standard to have two
Mm-hmm.
because like right now in Pro League, for example, we are eating like one hot meal and then we have like a scrim game and then we have like 5 games and like after like game 3 I'm really hungry again pretty much.
Yeah.
I wish there was like a way to have like 2 hot meals, but it is kind of hard because you're playing 5 games in a row. But yeah, food is really different from event to event. um, Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. Even on like some of the events where you have catering, it can be like good one day and then bad the next day. So
What would be the best event you've been at uh, when we look at just food?
um, there's actually been a lot of good ones. Actually, GLL season 2. Actually, when they had the bad hotel, they had really good food. I remember that. um, they had like kebabs and stuff. They had like this small like caravan or whatever that like came up there and like he just like gave out these like really nice kebabs and stuff. So that was my type of food at least.
All
I
right.
like that.
Works for you. All right.
Yeah.
And what about some event where you just had a terrible experience with food?
That was actually in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't serve hot food.
What did
As
you
far as
eat?
I remember, they were like saying like, "Hey, we can order you guys McDonald's and stuff if you want to." That was pretty much it. So
Wow.
I was like, no thanks. I just ate like a big breakfast before I got there, and like I was just like eating snacks like bananas and drinking a lot of water. And yeah, I'm personally like okay playing on like an empty stomach. So, but it's worse for other people. So like, yeah.
It's especially sad because you're in China and the food there is insane. So
Yeah, it's actually really good food there.
Yeah.
But I think there was some budget issues, and I think the event in Hong Kong had like something happened, and they weren't like that prepared or something. It was a little bit weird.
Mm-hmm. But for example, some events have the hotel right next to the venue, so you eat at the hotel, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
I guess that's a huge advantage from the events where the hotel is pretty far away and they have to organize some kind of remote catering,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then the food quality suffers, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Starladder and GLL has done that. Like Starladder in Ukraine, in Kiev. It's the same there as in GLL. The
Hmm.
venue and the hotel is right next to each other, so you eat breakfast there and you eat dinner there, and it's actually pretty nice. It's also like not only the food part about it is nice, it's nice that you don't have to like take a cab or like a shuttle with certain times to go to the venue. You can just walk there when you feel like it.
That seems like a huge advantage for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another little detail that I noticed is when I was at GLL, the last one in Stockholm, they served dinner at like 9:30 to 11 p.m. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like that didn't work for a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I was actually the schedule was really late, so the dinner was really late. Um, I don't know. For me, it worked out. We had our manager though grabbing us food like in between the games and stuff. So like after game 3, I think we ate like some pizza and some sandwiches or something.
mhm,
But yeah, for me, it was fine that the food was late. Like I was still hungry to eat. So
I see. All right, all right. So tell me about the schedule. How does a typical schedule when it comes to the game day look like for you guys?
it's like wake up, like it's like how can I say it? It's personal preference. Like I feel like if people want to sleep a lot, or if they want to get up early and like go to the gym or whatever it is, like let your players like start the day how they want it. Um, so for me, I sleep extra long on game days. I try to sleep like between 9 and 10 hours
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like I can. I don't know. I just feel like more. What's the word? Like when you wake up and you feel,
Refreshed?
yeah, something like that. I feel like I have more like focus and I can concentrate better over a long period if I sleep longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just sleep a little bit longer. I'll wake up and I'll have breakfast. And usually after breakfast, like I'll head to the venue and we'll have like set up the day before most of the time. And we'll play like a few scrim games there and we'll be chilling a little bit backstage and like, yeah, going over like maybe some intro stuff and then we just start playing.
Mm-hmm. So how long is the actual playtime from game one to the last game of the day?
Oh, it's like on like a normal like on a tournament, there's usually delays. With the Pro League now, it's pretty fast, but like on another tournament, there's usually always like something goes wrong or there's a delay, and then it's like I don't know, maybe like between 4 and 6 hours,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the amount of games we play. Like GLL was 6 games a day, so it was like what was it like 6 and 7 hours actually? I think.
And you also had a lunch break or something in the
Yeah,
middle.
exactly. Yeah, the
Yeah.
lunch break.
What do you think of the breaks between games? How long should they be?
Um, so for me as a player, it depends. Let's say if we have a good game, you just feel like going new game instantly, you know.
Makes
But if
sense.
you,
Yeah.
yeah, then you're like, oh, we got the momentum, we're feeling good, we just had a great game. It would be nice to just go straight in again. Um, but if you have a bad game, it's honestly nice to have a little bit of a break to just like think about what went wrong and like reset for the next game. But when it comes from like a viewer's perspective, there shouldn't be that long breaks. Um, I don't know how long the breaks are right now in PEL. What are they, like 15, 20 minutes, maybe more?
Mm-hmm.
They probably should be less so that like people could just like sit down and watch the whole thing and not have to like put half the day to watch the games.
Exactly. I feel like that's pretty rough, but they did cut the breaks a little bit shorter,
Yeah,
I
they did.
think now.
Yeah,
So I guess that's the step in the right direction. All right.
yeah.
Let's talk about the media day. So that is like a day where you do some photo shooting, maybe some video, B-roll. How does that typically look? That is before the tournament, of course, a day or two before the tournament.
Yeah, it's like a day or two before the tournament usually. So that also like with everything here kind of depends on the tournament organizer. But yeah, like it's always like between like 1 or 3 days before the tournament. They give us like a time where we usually just meet outside the hotel, and there's like a shuttle. And then we go to whatever location they want us to go to, and most of them like they have like a makeup girl or whatever. If you want to have makeup, you can have that. I usually say no. Um, take makeup on, and you take like these normal typical pictures, where you're posing with the crossed arms and all of that. And then there's also like some video content, which can actually be really fun sometimes. So actually, if I think about it now, when we did media in Hong Kong, that was that was something else, because we drove in this like really like weird like bus, almost like the bus that's on Miramar. That the bank bus on Miramar.
Yeah,
That was literally that bus we were riding in for like 20 minutes to some like weird location where there were like these old warehouses with mold inside, and like we were taking pictures there, and there was like these huge dragonflies flying around, and I was scared as hell for them. So that was really weird.
So you
That was
think
really different.
So you think that media days are good and fun in general?
Yeah, they are fun. We like to complain though, like, oh, we have to do this.
Yeah.
We like to complain. Players like to complain.
But do you think that they could do something more through the media days, or do you think this is like kind of enough content outside just gaming?
I mean, they could probably do more. I think they could do more like personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like, I know it was planned for like the Pro League to like come and like make a video in the team houses and stuff. Like that would be cool probably to see something like that, but it hasn't happened yet. Like there's definitely more they could do. There's always more content you could do, in my opinion. I like content, so.
Do you think that in PUBG they could do a lot more presenting the personalities of different players, and that is one of the main things that are missing kind of in the pro scene? Because a lot of players are just players. You don't really know much about them. You can't really learn anything about them even if you want to. Do you think that's a little bit of a problem?
Yeah, I think there's definitely more like what is the correct word I'm looking for? There is definitely like a better way of like doing it. Like I know in PL they were saying that they wanted Pala to do more individual interviews to bring out personality and stuff, because they said that's like one of his strengths. But he was doing like interviews with the whole team on the couch, and then a lot of players were kind of just like mute. They were just sitting there, and like, sure, you have like the normal outgoing players, like I would say like me, EB, Fussface, like we don't mind the camera, like we can express ourselves and just be who we are. But there's a lot of people who are, I guess, scared or like shy. So if they could do more like individual interviews, maybe that would bring out more.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure, they could do that.
Because one of the goals of the podcast is to bring the general public closer to the personalities of players like yourself. But this is the second time we're doing some sort of an interview, but I chose you because, again, there's really not that many people that were willing to talk about these things that much, and I feel like that is a missed opportunity for most people, because everyone should be treating themselves as a brand and not just as a PUBG pro player, because I mean it's not the longest lasting career. Okay, it'll last for as long as it can, but switch to another game and where are you? So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think you're doing a great job, because you're, like I say, you're one of the more forward, outspoken guys, and I really want to commend you on that. So that's why you're here again.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really shy in the beginning too, actually, like in the start, but like it's kind of just like a thing you gotta get used to it and just try it,
Yeah. All right. So about the PC gear that you carry, do you carry all of your peripherals like mouse, keyboard, or what do you not carry?
I never bring like a computer or a monitor. It's my mouse pad, my mouse, keyboard, and in-ears.
Okay.
Because yeah, that's those 4 things. And also actually I started using like a mix amp, so I bring that too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, most like tournaments they give you the PC, they give you the monitors, and even like the soundproof headsets with the mics on them. There's only been like a couple tournaments where we could bring our own headsets and microphones. So
But that probably wasn't the best experience if you
no,
had to bring your, home headsets and not the big ones that they have there.
yeah.
How are the mics on those big headsets, the soundproof, like helicopter headsets?
They're actually like they're pretty good. The thing is like if they somehow like get too close to your mouth, they
Mm-hmm.
start sounding like a pilot's microphone in a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and they're also like if they somehow move, they usually don't, but if they somehow move while you're playing, they go like under your mouth or too close. So if they go under, you can't hear your teammate at all. And then if they go too close, it's just like a pilot's microphone. It gets really like bad quality.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
has to be
yeah.
like in a perfect spot, or it's just bad.
So it's completely different from just normal headset microphones. It's some other technology, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you hear any noise? So you have your noise canceling earbuds like these, and then you have noise canceling headphones, but I think you still hear a little bit from the outside, right?
Yeah, if somebody's like extremely loud, if somebody like really yells or like slams the table, something like that, you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it depends what you're doing in game at the same time, because if you're shooting, you can't hear anything. But
Obviously, yeah.
if you're literally like waiting in a compound for the circle to pop or something, then you can definitely hear if you actually like listen and concentrate about it. You can hear like small talk around you, I guess. You
Mm-hmm.
can't figure out what people are saying, but you can definitely hear that there's people talking.
So you mostly just hear voices because that's really not blocked by the noise cancellation, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever hear commentators on any tournament?
I think it was IM Oakland, the first PUBG LAN. I think we could hear the casters there. Even with the noise cancelling headsets on, you could still hear it sometimes. Because like they literally had the screen and the speakers above where we were playing. So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's like the only one I think where I can remember hearing the casters.
But does the sound go through the mic, or does it go through the headset?
Yeah, both actually. I think
Both.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess the mic is the weak point in the
yeah,
whole setup typically.
yeah.
All right. So how are the PCs on the venue?
In PL they're pretty good. But usually like okay for every event.
Mm-hmm.
But you always have this issue with PUBG and the RAM speed, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to have like really high RAM speed, like 3002, 3006 usually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so right now we have 3002 at PEL because we had 3006, but people were crashing a lot. I remember phase 1, 80 crashed so much. I don't know if that's the reason why they lowered it, but there was a few players crashing a lot. So they lowered it
Could
from
be.
3006 to 3002.
Mm-hmm.
And PEL is basically the best one. We have like what is it called? Titan
Titan.
GPU.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have actually can't remember which CPU we have,
I
but
like a
it's
9700K or something.
yeah something like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's the best at PEL, like performance wise. It's the best. When you go to other events, so this is what I don't get, because what every event says is we always ask them to up the RAM speed, and they always have the specs. Like they always have like 4K RAM speed, but they turn it down. And the reason they turn it down is because PUBG Corp tells them to turn it down, otherwise the game is gonna crash on the LAN client. But that's pretty much what we did at PL, right? We turned it down to 3002. But in all these other events, they don't even go up to 3002. They keep it at like 2006, 2001. Like it's really low on some of these events.
Yeah.
So I don't understand like why PUBG Corp is telling them to lower it that much when we are playing with 3002 at PL.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't cause issues below 3200. I think. I mean, at 3200, Only above
Yeah,
that, I think, is where it starts crashing for some specs. So they rather have people play on 20 less FPS than have them crash and ruin a game, you know. And I
yeah,
guess no one wants to take the risk. That is
yeah, for sure.
that is the reason.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there practice rooms on different events you go to?
Uh, some yeah, some of them have like Face It had it, GLL had it. They're usually pretty cramped though. They're not like as fancy as the CS:GO practice rooms where you get
Mm-hmm.
like one room each with a table each. It's usually like they try to put like Face It and GLL had like these really small tables, and they tried to just put like 2 players per table or something. I mean, it works for some people, but for me it doesn't because I use too much space with my mouse.
Yeah, you have like a giant mouse
Yeah,
pad, so
it's my low sensitivity, so I have to like swing my mouse a lot, like
yeah,
left and right.
yeah.
But yeah, not every event has it, but lately there's been more and more events having it, so maybe it's something they're working on.
But do you think that is an advantage if you have a practice room, no matter how big or small it is? At least that there's something.
Yeah, as long as you can practice and play a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
that's important for sure.
Yeah. What about playing on LAN client versus playing online? How's the LAN experience in PUBG?
Oh, I've said it so many times. I wish that like casual players would get to like feel how it is to play on the LAN client, because it's PUBG, but it's just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just feel it when you're spraying, especially when you're spraying. Your shots connect so much, and yeah, like I feel like I shoot people out of cars all the time on LAN client, but I can't do it online.
Mm-hmm.
It's just way better. It can still be laggy in comp games when there's like a lot of people alive, a lot of cars and stuff happening. But it's not nearly as bad as online client. So like I just wish people would get to feel how LAN client is. It's really great to play on.
Yeah, when I was in Germany on Gamescom, we were playing the ESL German Championship, and that is the only tournament that I play on the LAN client, I think, and it was freaking amazing. It really was, even back
Yeah.
then. But you guys always play a few patches back, correct?
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah. So, what do you have online that you don't have on the LAN client right now?
We don't have the new maps. But they gave us ledge grabbing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're still playing on the old weapons, so the SMGs aren't as strong yet.
I
At
see.
least I believe they aren't, because the Scar is still good and it's pretty
Mm-hmm.
bad online. So yeah, I'm like 99% sure the SMGs aren't buffed yet,
I see.
because nobody is playing them. So yeah, we have vault grabbing still on LAN client because they added that. We don't have the new maps. We don't have the ability to turn off the engine. So that's like my muscle memory right now is really bad, because I'm playing online. I'm constantly turning off the engine and rolling on people,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to do it all the time when I'm playing on LAN too.
Yeah,
It's just weird.
it's dangerous to play the game right now outside. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah, it
timer.
is.
So
But yeah, it's the big part is just the maps, right? That's basically like the
yeah. Tell me about between the games, the little pause you have, like 10 to 15 minutes. What happens in between two games?
for us, it's like a small discussion, like what went wrong, or even sometimes if we all feel like it was just like a stupid mistake, we don't even talk about it. We try to just focus on going next. We usually get up, walk out of our booth, grab a snack, grab some water, maybe go outside, get fresh air, and we also look at the Otter, which is like the platform to check the replays.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Otter Productions or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think every team in the Pro League uses it, just like a replay tool. So we watch the games back there, and like we can see that like Na'Vi dropped differently with this plane than with this one, for example. So we know that every time we see a plane path, we know kind of where people are gonna go, unless they do something drastic. So yeah.
All right. Do you have like a where does that happen? Is there like a player lounge or?
Oh yeah, it happens in like the player lounge. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the player lounges are usually just like area with like some tables, some couches and TVs, chairs. Usually pretty decent areas.
Mm-hmm.
There's snacks there, and like there's a fridge with some water, and there's free sodas and like some energy drinks, I believe, as well. There's tea, there's like lollipops, there is yeah, there's
So it's pretty nice.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's where
So
we watch them.
the next question is maybe a bit hard to answer, but what do you think is the minimum prize pool required for LAN tournament for you guys or all the professional teams to attend that event? What do you think would be the total prize pool that would be required?
I think like 150K. I haven't seen one under it. So I don't know if there's a reason why there hasn't been any lower than that. But I guess that's like a okay prize pool. If you win, at least you get good money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously it's like nothing close to like a major or anything like PGI in Berlin. But I think that's like an okay amount of money
Mm-hmm.
to play for.
Yeah, but some other games don't ever see that kind of prize pool. But in
Yeah, they
PUBG,
don't.
it seems like even the smaller like LAN events have a pretty decent prize pool. But that I guess that comes in with having so many teams in the finals. Like
Yeah, for sure.
that
There's
has to
so
do
many.
something to deal with that.
Yeah.
What is the best LAN experience that you ever had, considering all of these things?
Um Honestly, even though people give Starladder a lot of like hate, or what you want to call it, a lot of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I think Starladder has had like the best lands for me. It's just all around like it's pretty good, like hotels, food, travel, uh, PCs. The venue is close. Like I said, it's next to the hotel. There's been practice rooms. Yeah, like Starladder in Kiev was been pretty good. I always said it was one of my favorite lands
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of just had the whole package.
Yeah, very cool. I guess they're very experienced too. It's just that sometimes certain things like the spectators and I don't know what they
Yeah,
don't get it perfectly, but they got a lot of other things going for themselves. It seems.
yeah,
What
yeah, for
about
sure.
the worst LAN experience?
Uh, I guess like maybe it was my first land in Oakland, or it could be. I even though Hong Kong, like the food and everything was bad, I really enjoyed Hong Kong, so I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
Must have been like Oakland, probably the first one we went to. Even though like right then and there, I really liked it because it was my first one. Obviously, I hadn't seen anything like it. When I think back to it now, it was like pretty bad food, and it was really cold where we were playing. I never have cold hands. Like I thought it was like after Oakland, I thought like I needed to bring like hand warmers for every event, but it was only Oakland that was cold. They had these ACs running, and they also had like fans right on us. So it was just really really cold, and the food there was like really bad as well. They gave us some sandwiches or something in between the games. Um, the venue was like not too far away from the hotel, but you had to take like a was it like 15-20 minutes with a bus. So it's not really like a bad land at all, but it was just like probably the worst one out of all the ones I've been to.
Mm-hmm. Before we go to some other topics, one more question that I got from my subs was, how do they deal with security when it comes to cheating? What do the organizers do to prevent cheating on LAN events?
So it always been depending as well on the tournament organizers. Uh, One thing though is that you always drop your phones in these boxes, and like you can't use your phones, for example. Um,
What
in
if you have two
Starladder,
phones?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody checks for that. You don't get like you don't get body checked. Like nobody checks your pockets. There is just so much more that could be better when it comes to like security. Just so much more. But yeah, like I have a extra set of keyboard and mouse at home because I have to leave mine over there. Because they say they're testing them, but I've never like I don't know if they actually test them or if they just say that they do it. So I've never walked in and seen admins like checking the gear or anything. So I don't know.
So you're saying that they don't really do anything special when it comes to the security?
Nah, not in my opinion, at least.
But
Even
yeah,
I
go
think it
ahead.
was even in, was it day one of this phase of PL? We had even had internet connection on our PCs,
Mm-hmm.
so you could literally like go on online and like just download something if you wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's a lot of trust going on in the PUBG community. There have been some people getting banned and stuff, but no one was caught cheating or suspected cheating on the LAN event yet. So I
Yeah.
guess that's part of it. But if you had more security, would that be a bit too much of a hassle? I go anywhere, you need to go through some security.
Nah, I don't think so. I think
No?
it would just be like a comforting thing, to be honest. Like I don't suspect anyone, but the thing is, you never know
Yeah.
if people are cheating. Like I've said it, like it would be really easy for people to cheat because they don't have, for example, they don't have one admin per booth, for example, at Starladder. So there's not always somebody watching what you're doing. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody just brings a USB with like a file down, like literally just puts like a cheat on it and just stick it in their PC and copies it over on the computer, it's there, you know.
Yeah. I guess that really needs improvement then.
Yeah.
All right, let's go
But
to
you never know, really. It's scary.
yeah. Let's go to some more happier topics. Tell me about the fan meetups that you have on certain events.
Uh, so Hong Kong was like the biggest one for us. There was a lot of people waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they're also we were gonna go over to happy things, but it's also kind of scary because it's very like badly organized. It's not like you have like anyone like if these people wanted to, they could have they could have like stabbed you or like anything, you know.
Come
You
on,
never know.
Jeemzz.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like there was like hundreds of people swarming us in PGI. Like I was stuck in a crowd of like hundreds of people. I couldn't like get out or anything. Everyone's just pushing themselves up and like sign this and take pictures, and like it's just scary because I feel like it should be like you have like a table at least where you can sign stuff. I
And
haven't
there's a
been to this.
queue, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit just organized at least,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like, of course, when I when I made an example about stabbing, that's like worst case scenario. But but you never know. It's I've thought about it. It's scary that you don't know what any of these people are like carrying and stuff. So yeah, maybe
What
you piss somebody off if you ban them from your Twitch channel. I don't know.
Yeah. But what I've seen on some streamer events, they have like time slots that streamers can book for their meetups, and they have special rooms. Do you ever get that on events?
I think it was a PGI Leicester,
Mm-hmm.
the qualifier for Berlin. We got like it wasn't even a room. It was just on top of like a staircase. And they gave us a lot of paper, like just like a stack of paper and some, what is it called, some markers.
Yeah.
So like apparently we're just supposed to write our names on the papers and hand it out to people, which is kind of weird. I feel like if they want us to sign anything, they bring it to us, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess that was an attempt. But surely another thing that they could do in the future is just offer some kind of room and make people get in the queue and do the signing, the photo shoots, and whatever people want. Just a bit more organized. And I guess that has to be on the organizer's part to organize that.
Yeah, like we don't even get like tables to sign stuff. So when you sign stuff, it's hard to sign stuff when you don't have a table.
So on these events, you hang out with a lot of different players. Do you think that that is a very important part of LAN tournaments in general?
I don't know if it's an important part because there's a lot of people who don't socialize, but I do at least. I think it's nice to like just get to know people and make friends, and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. What about the after parties? Do you have after parties at the tournament?
Yeah, there's after parties pretty much every tournament. There's some really good ones as well. Like the PGI in Berlin was a pretty good after party. It was like on a river with like a raft. It was like on like a raft or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fancy, yeah. So that like the after
Face It
parties
was great.
Face It was
on the boat.
Oh yeah, it was the boat. Yeah, it was pretty good too.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I love when they like they have these like sliders, the small hamburgers that they're just like handing out. Like
Yeah.
these type of foods, I really like that on the after party.
You hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I had like 5 of those.
Yeah.
All right, I think have gone over a lot of different topics. I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me. It was fun.
All right, make sure to follow Jeemzz on Twitch TV/Jeemzz. And if you enjoyed the show, subscribe and rate the podcast. If you leave a review, more people will come and watch the podcast. So that is great. And this is a little thing you can do that really helps a lot. Also, visit our site on sprEEEzy.com, where you can find all info about the podcast and the stream, and also subscribe to the newsletter for behind the scenes info, and also a little bit of my personal thoughts on the topics that you see in the podcast. See you in the next one.